Hello folks, quick video. This is me discussing the top 5 worst relics in Star Rail. Now, I want everybody to remind themselves that I did make a video on substats versus set, and basically what that video says is that there's very few relic sets in the game that can actually give you a 10 to 15% advantage over your relics, and that substats generally just matter more than the set bonuses itself. A reminder, this is a worst by relativity set, meaning that you won't brick your run by running these sets. It's just that they're not as good as the other options at all, actually. And just for the more generic disclaimers, this is strictly my opinion and my personal taste. I run calcs on these, by the way, but I do also have to consider how restrictive the condition is, how many characters can use it, and other niche scenarios where their power may be justified. There is a bit of a subjectivity to this, and it's not easily quantifiable. Let's get going with this. Number 5, passerby. Wow, you may be surprised. Passerby, isn't that the set that has a very amazing 2-piece, you know? Yeah, it is. It is a very amazing 2-piece, and nearly every healer wants the 2-piece. The problem is the 4-piece. The 4-piece is damn near useless because it's one skill point to the course of the battle. Now, let's say you're at Memories of Chaos and you go at the 5 cycle mark. Now, typically, you probably cycled through 10 to 15 skill points at that point. And what is adding 1 at the start of the battle going to do to you? Like, even if you're running Dan Hengenbiber to Lune, that probably isn't going to be that big of a difference that you can pop off your first EBA. There is scenarios where they're probably going to be make or break, like an E6 E6 Dan Hengenbiber to Lune. But even now, you probably are running Sparkle with him or Hanya. That, yeah, it just isn't that good now. Speaking of living and dying by the 2-piece, let's go to the Guard of Wuthering Snow. Now, the thing about this set, the 2-piece is very good. It can be used by tanks, it can be used by supports that just need a bit of bulk and can't really use the hacker space set, so that's nice. But the 4-piece, again, like the passerby, is almost very much useless. There is a scenario I could see there is a design space where a preservation character might be able to take taunts, and also that they sacrifice their HP to 50%. If they can drop their HP that low enough without dying, then that means that the Guard of Wuthering Snow can be a good option for them. Unfortunately, this character does not exist. So unless we get that character, this continues to be one of the most useless 4-piece sets in the game. The 2-piece set though is pretty nice, I will say that. I can't say that for the next one, which is Sizzling Thunder. Now, DPS sets are pretty easy. They're quantifiable by, you know, how much damage they increase your DPS. The thing is, this is a strict elemental one. It's in the name, it's Sizzling Thunder. You can't put this on anything except lightning characters. And the deal is 10% lightning damage is a drop in the water when you add in supports like Rowan Mei or Ting Yun. It's just not that big. But the 4-piece is even worse. The 4-piece is a small 20% attack buff. When you consider team scenarios where you're putting a lot of attack to your damage dealer, this is even worse. This is probably not even like a 5% damage increase in most scenarios. And the fact that this is Sizzling Thunder after all means that, well, at least it's best in slot for every lightning character in the game. Me when I lie. Every single lightning character would rather have something else than this set. It's kind of just the unfortunate reality though. You just power creep them, it's the cycle of gacha, it's natural, but still that doesn't absolve it of being one of the worst DPS sets in the game, and simply because none of the DPS that you would think would use it don't actually want it at all. Next, Pan Cosmic Commercial Enterprise. Now, yeah, this list does involve a planar set. This domain is terrible, and we're gonna go into that a little bit more later. But the main reason why it's so bad is that the units that you would think would like to use this don't actually want this at all. Okay, let's say Silverwolf would want this. Why would Silverwolf actually want attack? They would rather have Von Whack or Penacony just to increase the damage of the damage dealer, or just have a more flexible rotation. So whatever, this isn't that good on Silverwolf. Let's go with Sampo. Sampo would rather have Space Healing Station because it's easier to hit. They would also rather have Glamoth if they're fast enough. Kafka? Nope, she doesn't need that much EHR. So who actually would want this set? There's only one character in the game that has this as their best in slot, and it's Black Swan. That's it. It's Black Swan, and it's not that powerful compared to Glamoth. And I don't know, if you tell me that a relic is best in slot in only one character, and basically not even that big of a damage increase compared to Glamoth, which is the superior option, then I don't know what to tell you. Lastly, and this is probably the most unsurprising pick of them all, the worst relic set in Star Rail is Celestial Differentiator. I want to know who designed this, because it was clearly made like with a certain purpose. Like if you look at this at the first glance and say, oh well, this is for the whales that just want to one-shot a boss in a single attack. Well, that doesn't really happen in this game. HP is just too high, and unless you're an E6 S5 whale, then you're not going to be using this set too much of a great effect. The fact that it lasts until the end of the next attack is also very crummy. At least if it lasted for at least one turn, it would actually justify itself as a very like low cycle type of one shot nuke type of relic set. But no, this isn't it. It just lasts until the end of the first attack. So if you use your burst, that's it. You have 60% crit rate for your burst at the first time, and the rest of the battle you're just limping through it. And another problem with this is that it's fluctuating crit rate actually. If this was fluctuating crit damage, it would be not as bad, because let me put an example here. So you start the fight and you have 80% crit rate, you know, added with the passive from this set, and then you have 200 crit damage or something. So you hit that, and after you're done with that, your crit value is now would be 20% crit rate and 200% crit damage, which is awful. You should never want to have that kind of crit rate. If it was fluctuating crit damage though, let's say you have a crit value of 70, 130, and this set gave you 120 crit damage instead of 60 crit rate, then after that first attack, you at least still have a healthy crit ratio. This isn't possible though if you have a fluctuating crit rate set. So it's just a loss all around. This domain is absolute hell, and yeah, this is the worst relic set in the game. I don't think anybody actually denies this. Even the whales that I know wouldn't want it. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this short video. See ya. Bye bye.